And of course, it's time for us to bring to you world famous superstar Sam Dandy, of course, to share with us what's going on in the entertainment scene.
All
Morning,
right,
Sam.
there's so much happening. I like the fact that you keep calling me world superstar. But let's start with this one, TGIF, by the way. The music industry is super competitive. Every other day, there's a new song dropping just to make you forget your last favorite song. Just this week, Davido announced fans that they should expect his album coming soon. And while we await more details on the set project, another Nigerian superstar has teased fans about a new project. Now, it's been 2 years already since his album Made in Lagos dropped, and starboy Wizkid himself has promised new music. The Grammy-nominated musician in a recent Instagram story talked about the success of his last project and excited fans. This is what he had to say. He says, 2 years since my last album release, and we still getting to it. Appreciate the love. Una Popsi go soon drop, he says. Now, truthfully, Wizkid's fourth studio album, Made in Lagos, cemented his superstar status across the globe. The mega hit songs like Essence, fans are expecting nothing but another globally celebrated body of work. Now, don't worry, as much details come online, of course, I'll be there to bring it to you. But now let's remind ourselves, I can't believe it's 2 years. Let's enjoy Essence. Honestly, we cannot get over that song, whether it's the original or the remix with Justin Bieber. It just shows that Africans are doing proud. Well, now to East Africa, Tanzanian label Boss Diamond Platnumz is back in the news. Recall that he had earlier received some backlash over making his signees part the WCB Wasafi label only after paying heavy fees. In 2019, when leaving Wasafi record label, Harmonize paid 22 million shillings, which is approximately 500 million Tanzanian shillings, just to gain exclusive rights to all the music he worked on while under Platinum's label completely. Now, yesterday, the multi-award-winning musician responded to a fan who asked about his signee, Zuchu, and Platinum's openly revealed that she will have to pay 511 million shillings, equivalent to 10 billion Tanzanian shillings, if she intends to leave the record label midway. Now, while fans say it sounds ridiculous to ask so much of an artist only to exit a label, Platinumz maintains his statement. He says, I could have invested that money in something else, but I chose to invest in entertainment. WCB artists are some of the richest artists right now because of the investment we put in them. Now, Zuchu has garnered millions of streams and several achievements to her name since signing with Platinum's label. One being becoming the first East African female artist to reach 1 million subscribers on YouTube in about 11 months. In fact, she got 2 million most recently. And if you're wondering, well, she's actually well-to-do. She was in Lagos not too long ago for the Africa Day event. Let's watch a short clip of this.
I just love the way you love everything you have on myself. I don't deserve you.
Of course, while I do understand Platinum's effort to push East African music far and wide, my piece of advice will definitely go to musicians out there. Get a lawyer to look through your contracts and understand them before you sign, because that would be a huge amount of money to pay. But now let's go to international scene. It's some great news. Nearly 50 years after suffering harassment and discrimination at the 1973 Oscars, American actress, model, and Native American civil rights activist Sacheen Littlefeather will be the guest of honor at an evening of healing and indigenous celebration hosted by the Academy Museum on September the 17th. It will be an evening of reflection, as it's expected that the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences will tender a formal apology to her. Now, here's the backstory. A 26-year-old Littlefeather took the Oscar stage to decline an award in Brando's place that year, and her speech on his behalf condemned the treatment of American Indians and immediately was met with a mix of applause and booing, as well as backstage threats of arrest, according to Hollywood Reporter. Now, the days prior was sensitive time in America, and that speech was instantly a historic moment in both Oscars and live television history in America. As a result, the now 75-year-old Littlefeather says her acting career was halted by the federal government, which threatened to stop any talk shows or production that put her on air. Former Academy President David Rubin, in an organization's apology letter dated June the 18th, had this to say. He says, "The abuse you endured because of this statement was unwarranted and unjustified. The emotional burden you have lived through and the cost to your own career in our industry are irreparable. For too long, the courage you showed have been unacknowledged. For this, we offer both our deepest apologies and our sincere admiration." Now, the entire statement, or the entire apology, in fact, will be read full on September the 17th at the Academy Museum event honoring Littlefeather. Well, that's how much we can take on entertainment. I'm just super proud that even after many years, something as simple as an apology, right? It still goes a long way. And even though it's almost like, wow, a whole Oscars, I mean, the Academy apologizing, but it's a thing. It's a thing. What do you guys think about this?
I'm not excited about it because I mean it's been 50 years since this happened, and she did not deserve how she was treated. She went to receive the award on behalf of Brandon, who acted in The Godfather, and Brandon had written a long speech in a letter, and she said, "Oh, there's no time to read this, but unfortunately, we'll be rejecting this award. He will be rejecting this award because of the way Indian Americans have been treated in the film industry." She said it in the most respectful way, and people are allowed to air their rights or air their grievances without being bullied. What she experienced was bullying, for years now. It's just really unfair that this is happening now. I'm happy that she's getting the apology, but what happens to all the lost time?
Oh, I mean, I feel pretty much the same way. There's nothing for me, absolutely nothing exciting about an apology that's coming 50 years later. Most times the apology is not coming coming from the people who actually, caused the damage or did the damage. And also, over time, I've gotten to realize that the United States, really has, issues accepting, when they've done wrong, and for anybody who tries to speak about some of the things that they've done and their history and all of that, they find a way, to, I don't even want to call it cancel culture anymore. They just find a way to not accept, and, there's this herd mentality that comes into play, and, it's things that I'm not really excited about.
She was blacklisted, really. In some way, she wasn't getting movies anymore. Right. As an actor, her career just really came to a halt.
Simply because she spoke about things that they never want to accept that they did wrong, or things that they never want to admit that they were wrong at. And so I would always have my own special emotions and special thoughts concerning anything that has to do with the West. That's me, though.
I mean, I understand what you guys are saying, but at the end of the day, an apology will go. She seemed surprised, honestly. I think I saw her part where she wrote, she was like, "I'm just super surprised that, in fact, in my lifetime, I'll get an apology." It's crazy. We should all expect sorry, but it still goes a long way just to feel like,
well, hopefully the healing starts from here, and I hope that the rest of us, and the rest of, everyone is learning. I mean, we should take a deep breath before we make certain decisions,
right,
and that could entirely cost people's lives and their career. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too.